Whenever we have a full moon or a new moon like today, I'm always writing on the WhatsApp in the family group about such days. Be careful, you can be too emotional today, or there is this and that problem you need to compensate with, some emergency guidelines, protocol. And it's interesting because my father, being a skeptic, is always saying, no, I had a very good day, very nice day. In fact, it was better than other days. And then we find out that in reality, it was a little bit different. And also today I had a chart, the client with new moon also. I didn't know that we have scheduled this person for today, for the new moon day, person with the new moon chart. It was very interesting reading. We have provided, as usual, the remedies, the yogas, the Varga readings, tips and advices, and all these important matters. But I would like to share 3 interesting things from this chart. One will be about the attitude, what to do when the house is empty. The second would be about the wealth, the Navamsha, and also related to the questions we had on the YouTube related to Rahu in the Scorpio, in the debilitation, is it in Scorpio or Sagittarius? And the third one is about when the Navamsha is more important than Rashi, how to see that in the chart, and also I will share my lessons with this specific chart. So let's go to this first point. As usual, if someone is not rectifying your Navamsha or Dashamsa, then if that was the Vedic reading, it will not be very useful. And the 3 steps which we did here were all affirmative. I've asked if the spouse have some kind of sun characteristics, so I have asked if he was bold with the sun. It's quite likely, and this was affirmative. Then I have seen that we have a Rahu in Scorpio 10th house and aspected by the moon and Mercury. And I didn't know anything about the person, but I've asked, are you maybe working in the medical sector? And that was also affirmative. And then the third point, which is quite detailed, was also affirmative. And this is quite crazy because I have seen that there might be some inflammation around the face region, and that was confirmed as some form of acne. But then I have seen that this could be quite serious, and I said about the allergy, and it turned out that the person had so strong allergy related to the cream ingredients that person ended up in the hospital because of that. And then I thought, so let's go now to this chart reading. So we see this 10th house, we have good and bad. The challenging thing is that this is the Amavasya moon, which is the new moon. But what is good is that Lagna Lord is in the 10th house. This is giving the Siddha Yoga, someone who is trying to get perfection in something, trying to be excellent. Karaka is Ketu because this excellence is coming from repeating the situation like 1,000 times. You are doing the same thing day after day, and after a few years, it is stacking your experience to such a level that is crossing some boundary, and then you are becoming very good at whatever you are sacrificing your time for. The Sun and Mercury is also giving someone who had very strong intelligence. And now we need to see where is the Aruda, and I've had some intuition that it could be in the Aries because it is stronger. And then we have Jupiter in 12th. And I've asked, are you the eldest? That was affirmative, so we know the Aruda is in the 10th house, and we can now start the chart reading. Now, I've learned from my Guruji, Vis Larsen, that when the house is empty, we need to see the Rasi Drishti on this house. And we see that in this chart, Cancer is the Lagna, so if we want to investigate the relationship, we need to see the 7th house. That will be Capricorn, and we are seeing that Saturn and Mars have Rasi Drishti, the sign aspect on the 7th house. So these become very important because the 7th house is empty. If you have any plans in the 7th house, then those will form your attitude, whatever story they have to share. But if it's empty, then we are looking at the Rasi Drishti. If you are a regular on this channel, then definitely you know that the Mars and the Saturn is the Yama Yoga, the yoga for death. So this may give very different scenarios, from very mild to quite extreme. And in this case, we already had in the events listed the demise of the spouse. The lesson we gather from here is that this experience has influenced the person's attitude for the future relationship. Because usually such preferences or attitudes are also coming from some trauma, from some past experience. We can now employ the other rule. See from Venus. Is it ahead or before the Venus? And here we are especially seeing the 5th and 2nd for the future, and 9th and 12th for the past. And we see that this is influencing 12 from the Venus because it's loaded by Saturn, and 9 from the Venus, which is loaded by Mars. So this yoga Mars-Saturn is related to the past of marriage. So that means that this experience, this bad experience, will have, first of all, impact or influence the attitude of the person, and we know that it will block the future relationship. Now we know that this yoga will create a fear to entering new relationship because of such experience. Of course, the Rashi chart is not enough. You need to confirm such rules in the Navamsha. I'm sure that you will find many charts with the same combination, which will not give such serious manifestation. Now, 2 more things. We see from the Aruda Lagna, Jupiter and Venus are in the 12th house. So that is also loss of a spouse, because for ladies, the Jupiter is very important. And the Venus is the standard karaka for relationship. So 12 from Aruda may also show the losses, what is hard to keep in life. The timing of this event was Moon and Jupiter. And usually this will be connected to the 6th house in the Navamsha, on the chart of relationship. So whatever you will say about relationship, you always need to open the Navamsha chart and double check if the story is confirmed there. And here we can see Moon, the Mahadasha, is loading 6th, and Jupiter, the Antardasha, the sub-period, is in own sign. And we know in such case, we are taking the Uchanat Moon, and Moon was the 6th lord. So both planets, which are showing the timing, are showing the demise of the spouse. Now we know, okay, this yoga is in the Rashi chart. The person had to experience this karma. This was related to this and that dynamics. We could also draw the context in the Shastyamsa, why this was provoked. And then we can also investigate the future relationship and see if that also will be present. That will somehow also cause some problems with health for future relationship, or maybe such also extreme manifestation, or if that whole thing was already unpacked in the first relationship. Without Navamsha, unfortunately, we cannot be sure if that is a single scenario of that or that is something repeatable. Now, very interesting thing, how the person got the whole experience and channelized it through the work. Because we have that Saturn and Mars, which is the Yama Yoga. There will be some symbolism, something related to death or reincarnation, could be hard cases, it could be therapy, something like that will manifest. Sometimes it manifests as property or judge, career life, but when it comes to health, this is usually showing some serious problems for the native or the dear one. We see that this new moon is in the 10th house. So we have some healing, we have some therapy there. The psychotherapy, for example, the yoga is also Moon and Mercury, because it's the Mercury is the general karaka for medicine and the Moon is the mind. So it's either natural medicine or it could be also psychotherapy. In the Navamsha, we see that now the 10th house is loaded by Mars with the Moon and aspected by Mercury. Therefore, this shows very high chance that the person will work with such extreme, because we have this debilitation of the Mars, situations like death and things like that. Now, this Mercury Moon Yoga may show the psychotherapy. This is very interesting because the person went through such very hard experience, but also this enabled this person, this gave this person the needed skills how to help others to go through such existential crises. So this person is not only working in a hospice and helping people crossing this very difficult part in life, but the person is also helping the families whose members are in such situations. So the interviews and the supportive system is already built by this person. So we can see how this Yama Yoga, how this hard experience was channelized into work. And this is confirmed with the Navamsha because we have the influence of those planets on the 12th house or career life house, the 10th in the Navamsha. And what is very important, the Rahu in Scorpio. Because this is debilitation sign for the Rahu, but we have also the Sagittarius. So to unify these two seemingly contradicting positions, because they are coming from Vedic texts, some texts are saying in Scorpio, the other are saying it's Sagittarius. And we know that we have to unify this. The tradition is giving the solution that both are right, but there is a difference in the usage. One is for health matters, namely the Scorpio, and the other is in the all other things, which we call Phalita, for finances and for general other indicators. So we usually are using Sagittarius. If career life is related to this, we can see that person will work with such difficult cases, and that will create the profession for the person. When I saw how this is all beautifully showing in the Navamsha, I've asked myself why we need the Rashi chart, right? The Navamsha is so much dominating the whole thing. In such situation, I always try to motivate the client to do the mantras, because when Navamsha is strong, it means that this metaphysical karma is very much activated, and to change scenario of your life, we need to also we need to work on that metaphysical roots, and we can do that by employing the metaphysical means like a mantra or some kind of spiritual tools or remedies. Already on Pandit Sanjay Rath channel is the video was published where it is discussed how to see if the Rashi, Navamsha or Shastyamsa chart will dominate. And basically for Moon and the Venus, if they are in the even signs, then we say they are strong. So there is this specific bala or strength. For all other planets than Moon and Venus, if they are in the odd signs, they are strong. So first we see the Rashi, the Navamsha and the Shastyamsa. And we are taking the Lagna Lord. So Lagna Lord and Moon was an odd sign, so it's not strong. For Moon and Venus, remember, we have to check the even signs. But in the Navamsha, the Moon is in the even sign. So that is also not only proven by the intuition that the Navamsha is so strong, it's showing everything very nicely. It works almost like a Rashi in such case. But also this is proven by the rule that the Lagna Lord is showing that yes, the Navamsha chart is very strong and it will reflect the life very nicely. Here you go, you have these nice 3 tips. One was about the attitude, what to do when the house is empty. And you cannot believe how many questions I got related to the empty house. What do we do when the house is empty? So we are taking the Lord for the interaction, but for the attitude, see the Rasi Drishti. And this is very nice principle which can a little bit change your whole attitude to the chart reading. And then we are talking how the person channelized this experience of Yama Yoga, Saturn Mars, which initially gave the demise of the spouse into the helping other people with their difficult situation with leaving this world. So the person is helping in the hospice, but also interviewing and supporting the families. And we have seen how this is shown by this Rahu debilitation, which is showing this difficult case, but also the Moon and Mercury showing the person is working in the medical sector. Of course, we can confirm that with the Aruda Lagna. Aruda Lagna is with the Moon and Mercury, so that couldn't be clearer. The Aruda is also voting yes. I'm giving you the blessing, work in this area. This is very good for you. This is your mission. In fact, also this yoga there is related to the mission of the person that we are also doing in the beginning of the chart reading. And then we also learned which chart dominates in your life. Is it Rashi, it's Navamsha and the Shastyamsa. This is quite important because if you'll find out it's Navamsha, then you need to be sure that it's properly rectified, you have a proper dasha, and maybe you need to take more accurate look what's going on there. With that said, thanks for watching this video, and show some love by dropping the like button and also subscribe with the bell notification on for future uploads like this. For one-on-one session, please hit me up with this email here. Join our Discord community, and if you are not sure about your Navamsha because it's quite sensitive to time, you can learn how to rectify it by watching this video here.